Just how bad is sugar when it comes to cancer? We know what PET scans can detect it by using sugar, but when people continue to consume sugar, what's going on?
Well, some people always say what's worse, sugar or bad fats. Bad fats is worse because it's the bad fats that create more of the inflammation, and then the cell will convert over into only burning sugar. Now, too much sugar can eventually create inflammation and raise the insulin levels. So if we really just broke it down and say, okay, we know based upon PET scanning that cancer cells use more sugar than a normal cell. Otherwise, ask your doctor or oncologist, can you not give me sugar or glucose? They're going to be like, well, we couldn't find it. So that's gone. If your doctor says it doesn't matter what you eat, they're absolutely wrong. So number two is we know that a normal healthy cell has mitochondria, healthy mitochondria. The mitochondria are what bring in the fuel and create this ATP. ATP is your energy source. So think of the mitochondria as your engine in your car. The engine has to be working perfectly. And the engine on normal healthy cells bring in oxygen and they bring in glucose. For every 1 molecule of glucose though, because it is such an efficient engine, think of it as a smart car, right? These healthy cells have a smart mitochondria, perfect mitochondria, and they're able to bring in, for every 1 molecule of glucose, they're able to create 36 ATP. Just amazing and fuel efficient. And then we look at the difference of a cancer cell, and because their mitochondria is damaged, they no longer can bring in oxygen for their fuel source. So they are horrible. It would be like having a Humvee, you know what I mean, for inside of there. It's getting 2 miles to the gallon here. For every 1 molecule of glucose, it can only make about 2 ATP. So it's very inefficient. So in order for these cells to survive, they have to pop up, 10 to 12 to 18 times more insulin receptor sites, and so to bring in more sugar to those cells. So we know just based on that these cells, normal cells, are just more efficient. They don't need sugar. These cells use sugar for their energy. So now we say, well, what about fruit? This is what I get all the time. I haven't had fruit. I mean, actually, now that it's almost been 5 years, I'm able to put a little bit of fruit back in. But I follow a ketogenic diet based upon the metabolism of cancer, and so I don't bring in much fruit. Now, does fruit feed cancer? No. The fruit sugars spin left, where your regular processed sugars spin right. So cancer cells don't use that. But what fruit does do is, and this is the argument we get, is you need fruits. Fruit will raise insulin levels. You ask any diabetic, they can't eat a lot of fruit. So if you raise an insulin level, insulin will create more inflammation. Insulin will take me out of ketosis. I need my body the most efficient fuel burning, and I want it burning ketones. And so whenever my insulin levels go up, my body goes out of ketosis. My liver is producing ketones. I've been doing it for 5 years. I've been in ketosis and still alive, doing great. Your normal healthy cells will convert over to using ketone for their fuel, and your cancer cells can't use them. So for me, it's another way of starving this cancer because I don't give it anything. There's no glucose coming in. I have to watch how much protein I bring in, because glutamate will feed into those cancer cells. So you have to really watch how much sugars, how much proteins, and I increase it all to higher fats. I watch no high glycemic vegetables at all.